draws the miracle. So he's going to get rid of that. Meanwhile, of course, he brings up his own miracle. So that way he can be good against whatever comes out from Ek0p. 3 out of the 4 classes I feel like are in his favor. Pretty strong start.
Yeah. He started off with Auctioneer, which is very good. But he also didn't have the coin. And Ek0p's hand isn't very powerful. However, it is one of those early game hands that might give him the tempo that he needs. If he can curve out here nicely, which it's looking like he can with the low Theb, he might actually be able to win this as the warrior. But again, it's too early.
Low Theb is a great response to deny the miracle. It's one of the key cards for sure to disrupt their ability to use Gadget Stand, even if Gaara has it in his opening hand. Now, there are ways for Gaara to make up this card deficit. He has Backstab as a cheap replacement and activate his SI7. He just needs to pick up something like Preparation, though, and eventually just get those chain draws going. It's very important for the Miracle to make sure that she can get those draws and cycle through the Leroy before Warrior can get up a huge high health count and then make it impossible for you to burst.
Yeah, the one problem the Rogue has against the Warrior is that if you can get too high of a life total with like 2 Armor Smiths behind a taunt, it is actually very, very hard to push through. But he's taking the proactive step, which is killing the Armor Smith before it becomes a problem, which it would have been next turn with the Unstable Ghoul, potentially coining out the Armor Smith as well. I think he's going to go for the Shield Slam clear, just play it slow, which is good. He's got a lot of cards in his hand.
I can get behind that. Try your best to answer the threats and force Miracle to have things to do. Otherwise, they are just sitting duck and passing like what you see here from Gaara. The 2/2 Van Cleef would be such a waste, honestly. So he ends up weaponing up, passing over here.
It's worth noting that he could have went for a 6/6 Van Cleef by shadow stepping the Van Cleef. And after using 1 Shield Slam, he only has a few outs left, like the 2 executes, and the other Shield Slam wouldn't have even been enough either.
Right, would need Shield Block in order to chain with that.
Yeah, he would need a Shield Block into the second Shield Slam. And he would need Execute and an Activator.
Yeah, but with Gadget Stand in hand, do you really need to come to that conclusion, like this is what I need to do at the moment to put on pressure? It's not even that much of an urgency at the moment. You might be throwing away your best way to actually win the game by using up half your hand unnecessarily.
Well, it's only 2 cards for a 6/6. It's not too bad, and it gives him a lot of options to pressure the Warrior early. Because if you can get on board early and they can't deal with it, that's a very strong start.
All right. Well, now he's thinking about it.
Yeah, he's for sure. He's for sure mulligan. He's for sure thinking about it now. The problem with making it at 8/8 though is that it opens up to Big Game Hunter.
Ooh.
Tough calls.
How common is BGH now in Warrior decks? That used to be included quite often because of back then Panlock was very popular, but now they cut it quite often. Do you feel like BGH is often rotated into Warrior now?
Before now, I would say that absolutely Big Game Hunter is not something to worry about against a Warrior, but as Handlock is getting more and more popular, you can definitely start to see some Big Game Hunters coming.
Wow.
Ooh.
Well, Ek0p gets the best way to deal with this Van Cleef of just a weapon. Not to mention that he can get synergy off of his Acolyte of Pain. And that's kind of annoying for Gaara, but at least he still has his Gadget Stand Auctioneer, which doesn't have a clear way to get draws this turn.
No, he's not going to get any draws this turn. It's worth considering attacking before Phantom Knives, just to deny an extra armor because you probably want to kill that Armor Smith anyway. But if he really wants to save the Blade Fury, the thing is though, if he saves the Blade Fury, it opens him up to, again, like a Lotheb or something.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now Ek0p takes this opportunity, I think, to play a bigger minion. Acolyte's just not You really want to play it? Or do you want to play Lotheb to deny a potential auctioneer turn ahead of time? I think the bigger minion makes the most sense here. Lotheb in reaction to Gadgetzan is the best way to use it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think he's just debating whether or not he wants to attack with the Death Spite. He was debating playing the Acolyte and drawing a card and gaining some armor, but just playing the Sylvanas is a lot better. Of course, it lets him kill Auctioneers, lets him kill Azure
Well, Gaara can get draws with Azure Drake without having to commit his Auctioneer. The question is the follow-up, because this Sylvanas does pose to be quite the problem.
Well,
He had Sap, it'd be a great way to deal with it, but
he could backstab, play the Blade Fury, kill both the minions, and then play the Azure Drake. Or he could play the Auctioneer, backstab, Shadow Step the Auctioneer, and Blade Fury. Both good options.
yeah, that's actually a good point. It would stack a little bit more armor, but he would at least have a 4/4 on the body. Instead, he's opting to go damage to the face, so this is a very different line that he's taking. I think I favor your play a little bit more, but Gaara is opting to be slightly more aggressive on the board, which won't pay off considering that there is Death's Bite, triple armor being gained. Ugh.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to take an aggressive stance to try and force some cleanup from the warrior, but not a very good play when you're behind in cards and behind in tempo. I think he's maybe just trying to set up a better Blade Fury. But any Blade Fury that you make without the Auctioneer is going to be very, very rough. But again, he has the option next turn for the Gadgetzan Shadow Step Blade Fury if he really wants to. But if he just coins out the Lotheb here.
Oh yeah, shut down the opponent's ability to use the Gadgetzan Auctioneer. That could be preemptive if you want to seal the deal, but still a little premature because it's not like he has the guaranteed ability to press in for damage next turn. I wouldn't mind Lotheb, but I think Sen'jin Shieldmaster opens up a lot more flexible options. Okay.
The thing is, though, as the Miracle Rogue, your hand is most likely a bunch of spells, so he's pretty much getting in 12 guaranteed damage.
Yeah, that's true.
If he wants to sap here, he's going to be sapping the Sylvanas. That's going to take up his whole turn. Again, then he's going to be taking another 7 damage. And then he's just going to have to see the Sylvanas and armor up next turn.
But he does have a clear with Deadly Poison and Blade Flurry the following turn. So there are ways for him to climb back. But you're right, the 12 damage is going to sting and always threatens the possibility of lethal, but it's still not decisively in Ek0p's favor yet until he's able to kill the Miracle Rogue.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One of the ways that the warrior could close it out is by picking up a Death Spite and Grom within a couple of turns. So
that would be excellent.
Yeah, so getting the rogue to 9 health is definitely something that's...
Wow, he's going for Deadly Poison on his trying to maximize his damage here. And that won't allow him to get maximum value off of this Deadly Poison charge because of the Sen'jin Shieldmaster that's available to him.
Yeah. He's going to get denied by the Sen'jin more than likely. And he's going to be going down to 9 health.
Well, 9 health plus if he needs to attack the Sen'jin to clear it. And gives his opponent a lot of armor, by the way. Don't forget that there's an Armor Smith out there, which will pop a lot of the damage and get at least 5 armor from 5 targets, unless you kill it off first.
I think I like this line as well. It's a bit weaker to Blade Fury, but you can also get in some face damage with the weapon. If you choose to go about that route, getting in the face damage, putting the opponent really, really low is really good, and you're going to get at least 5 extra armor. Let's see if he chooses to equip the weapon and go face, or play safe by armoring up. I would personally play the weapon and go face.
You're at 27 health. Your opponent's at 9 mana. There is ways for your opponent to kill you, but he needs a very specific set of cards. I think you can get away with it. Second sap. Still no preparations for Gaara, but now you can draw into it. You can go for board clears with backstab, sap, blade flurry. But he is going to give his opponent a lot of armor in the process.
Yeah, if he goes for backstab on the Lotheb and attacks the unstable ghoul and then blade furies, he can board clear. But then if he does that, he's gonna have to shadow step the auctioneer because he would just run out of steam otherwise. And you're giving your
he can
opponent.
sap Sylvanas, so that way he doesn't do. He might get preparation as well. You never know.
No, of course. He's
Gaara
definitely.
needs to, by the way, hurry up here. Miracle turns do take a while because of animations.
Yeah.
Sap on Sylvanas. He doesn't have to attack into Unstable Ghoul either to prop it. You can just use Blade Flurry right now.
I guess that worked. Yeah.
Still not over. He picks up Shadow Step on this Gadget stand, which, like you said, doesn't feel like much. It is vulnerable to the Fiery War Axe as well. And Gaara is just going to couldn't even make a decision whether or not he wants to Shadow Step his Gadget stand. At least if he did, he didn't consciously make it. The timer decided for him.
So he's going to go for the copy faceless and draw 3 cards here. Maybe try and pick up a way to kill his opponent.
Yeah, sounds solid to me. Execute, draw, shield block, draw 2.
And gain 5 life.
Right. Now that makes shield block seem like a very strong card indeed. And now Ek0p has the way to kill his opponent over the next turn. The swing with the weapon feels minorly inconsequential because you'll be able to do that damage next turn, barring a Sludge Belcher.
Yeah, I think it's fine to hold the weapon here. But if he swings with the weapon, it gives him a few more outs because he could draw another weapon.
It's true. And his opponent can't simply remove this Gadget's in with their face if they had the opportunity to. Finally starting to get draws again, but it's not looking good already.
No, it's not.
He has double Blade Flurry in his deck, by the way.
Yeah, it's very common amongst Tempo Storm players. I've seen a lot, aside from Hyped, I've seen a lot of... there's the weapon.
Look at that top deck to win the game, and Ek0p, of course, calculated this possibility. And he ends the game on 34 health impact, which is way over the threshold at which Miracle Rogue can do in one turn unless they have an insanely powerful board already. So Gaara loses his Miracle